It always seems impossible until it's done. If you talk to a man in a language he understands, that goes to his head. If you talk to him in his language, that goes to his heart. There is no passion to be found playing small, in settling for a life that is less than the one you are capable of living. I learned that courage was not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. The brave man is not he who does not feel afraid, but he who conquers that fear. Never, never and never again shall it be that this beautiful land will again experience the oppression of one by another. For to be free is not merely to cast off one's chains, but to live in a way that respects and enhances the freedom of others. Where globalization means, as it so often does, that the rich and powerful now have new means to further enrich and empower themselves at the cost of the poorer and weaker, we have a responsibility to protest in the name of universal freedom. A good leader can engage in a debate frankly and thoroughly, knowing that at the end he and the other side must be closer, and thus emerge stronger. You don't have that idea when you are arrogant, superficial, and uninformed. There is no easy walk to freedom anywhere, and many of us will have to pass through the valley of the shadow of death again and again before we reach the mountaintop of our desires. Our human compassion binds us the one to the other, not in pity or patronizingly, but as human beings who have learned how to turn our common suffering into hope for the future. Courageous people do not fear forgiving, for the sake of peace. People respond in accordance to how you relate to them. If you approach them on the basis of violence, that's how they'll react. But if you say, "We want peace, we want stability," we can then do a lot of things that will contribute towards the progress of our society. No country can really develop unless its citizens are educated. Running taught me valuable lessons. In cross-country competition, training counted more than intrinsic ability, and I could compensate for a lack of natural aptitude with diligence and discipline. I applied this in everything I did. I stand here before you not as a prophet, but as a humble servant of you, the people. Let there be work, bread, water and salt for all. Forget the past. If there are dreams about a beautiful South Africa, there are also roads that lead to their goal. Two of these roads could be named goodness and forgiveness. Only free men can negotiate. A prisoner cannot enter into contracts. If there is a country that has committed unspeakable atrocities in the world, it is the United States of America. There is no such thing as part freedom. After one has been in prison, it is the small things that one appreciates, being able to take a walk whenever one wants, going into a shop and buying a newspaper, speaking or choosing to remain silent, the simple act of being able to control one's person. On the first day of school, my teacher, Miss Mdingane, gave each of us an English name and said that from thenceforth that was the name we would answer to in school. This was the custom among Africans in those days and was undoubtedly due to the British bias of our education. In countries where innocent people are dying, the leaders are following their blood rather than their brains. I detest racialism, because I regard it as a barbaric thing, whether it comes from a black man or a white man. I was called a terrorist yesterday, But when I came out of jail, many people embraced me, including my enemies, and that is what I normally tell other people who say those who are struggling for liberation in their country are terrorists. I have retired, but if there's anything that would kill me, it is to wake up in the morning not knowing what to do. Whatever position I occupied, it was the result of colleagues, of my comrades in the movement, who had decided in their wisdom to use me for the purpose of focusing the attention of the country and the international community on me. If the United States of America or Britain is having elections, they don't ask for observers from Africa or from Asia. But when we have elections, they want observers. Leaders in all spheres who are living with HIV should be encouraged, not coerced, to lead by example and disclose their HIV status. Communists have always played an active role in the fight by colonial countries for their freedom, because the short-term objects of communism would always correspond with the long-term objects of freedom movements. Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. It is better to lead from behind and to put others in front, especially when you celebrate victory when nice things occur. You take the front line when there is danger. Then people will appreciate your leadership. After climbing a great hill, one only finds that there are many more hills to climb. Money won't create success, the freedom to make it will. There can be no keener revelation of a society's soul than the way in which it treats its children. To deny people their human rights is to challenge their very humanity. A good head and a good heart are always a formidable combination. As long as poverty, injustice and gross inequality persist in our world, none of us can truly rest. If you want to make peace with your enemy, you have to work with your enemy. Then he becomes your partner. We pledge ourselves to liberate all our people from the continuing bondage of poverty, deprivation, suffering, gender and other discrimination. Let freedom reign. The sun never set on so glorious a human achievement.